So I decided to try something a bit different today since I had this scratch pad lying around. I used to actually use them a lot when I was a kid, but I never really finished one. I always got distracted and decided to do something else with my time, whether it was video games, TV, or playing outside. But since I had this one just hanging around, I decided it'd be a good idea to actually see what the finished product looked like. So I sat down. It took 3.5 hours, and I was pleasantly surprised with the results. It's not something, that's too difficult, but it just gave me a sense of accomplishment since I never really finished one before. But I will admit these things are actually kind of ingenious. In my opinion, they're designed to steady your hand and help you practice your line work. It's very basic materials. It's just a piece of cardboard with reflective foil on it and a waxy texture that's kind of like the lottery scratchers you get. And they give you this pen that's in the shape of a calligraphy pen with a metal tip that's a little rounded and pointed at the end, and a nice little piece of scratching cardboard in order to figure out the best angles to get different scratching widths. Just like a normal pencil or a paintbrush, you use the tip to get more thin, you use the side to get more thick, plain and simple. I will admit though that I did have a few issues with it. Like some of the portions of the purple section that you're supposed to scratch seemed a bit thicker unintentionally than some of the other places. And whenever I tried doing the wider motion with the pen, it never really seemed to scratch anything away. It just seemed to rub the surface, which I didn't like. And when I used more pressure to use the wider method, it would end up scratching some of the foil away, which I didn't like. So I ended up mostly using only the tip to scratch away more consistently. Maybe it took a bit longer because of that, but I do like the design and the results that it gives, because you have to press into the cardboard a little bit with it in order to get those lines, and I don't know, the reflections just look a little cooler in person. I could have sworn that the pen itself used to be a bit thinner in order to get the scratching done easier, but this is also something marketed to 8-year-olds and up, so it would make sense to make it a little bit thicker so that way people aren't cutting themselves on it, especially children. It was a little annoying to say the least though. I will say I didn't really expect myself to get into such a meditative state while doing this. Like I said, it took 3.5 hours, and so I had a lot of time to kind of just think to myself, and I admittedly didn't think I would get as existential as I did. I started thinking about how my life is going, issues I've been dealing with, paths I want to take, or just, the experiences I've had this year alone. I didn't really expect all of those thoughts to just come flooding into my mind while doing this, A lot of people find solace in a lot of different things, and I find that really interesting, People can find it in creating something, whether it's art, a video, or music. People can find going to work meditative, going for a drive, a hike, a lot of these things. And I personally didn't expect a scratch pad to really give me such a meditative mindset. It was really interesting, and honestly, it makes me want to try more different stuff to just kind of get outside of my normal day to see what else my mind will pick up on. I don't know. Ultimately, it was really fun and interesting, though at the very end, when I finished, I couldn't really move my hand that much. I really cramped up. I think I should have taken a bit more breaks throughout the whole process, because by the time dinner came around and I was trying to eat with my fork, I couldn't really use it a whole lot and lift it up because my elbow was so stiff. A little bit painful, I'm not gonna lie, but I think that just goes to show that I was a bit out of practice and maybe have been using a bit too much force on the pad itself in order to get it complete. But yeah, this thing was actually really fun, and admittedly it was something I kind of want to do more of. They're fairly cheap. It was only $5 and it gave me 3 hours to, you know, just chill. It was really great. I didn't have the TV on. I didn't really have any music on. I was just focused right on this. I don't know. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video and, you know, enjoy the music. I'll see you next time.